President Trump is about to pull the plug on the Department of Education, and he's challenging Congress to act. Today, the president expected to sign an executive order to dismantle the agency, saying time to put parents back in charge of their kids' education. But it's not a layup. The department can only be fully eliminated through Congress, requiring 60 votes in the Senate. Even Ronald Reagan tried to abolish the Department of Education, but he couldn't get it past the Democratic House of Representatives. Teachers unions sure to put up a fight. Here comes Randy Weingarten, head of the American Federation of Teachers, threatening to take Trump to court. Maybe if Randy Weingarten cared about educational outcomes as much as she cared about political power, America wouldn't be ranked 28th out of 37 countries in math. Taylor, there's a bigger issue here. It's not just about like an agency in the government. It's about the government's view of who has primary responsibility for kids in America.
And the left and progressives think that the government owns children, and conservatives think that parents own children. There is a great op-ed in the Wall Street Journal saying that progressives need reminders about that basic assumption, about the relationship between citizens and the state. Kids don't belong to the government. They belong, if that's the right word, to families. The state exists to serve citizens, not to command their attendance in government public schools. The left struggles with this. It goes on to say that the Democrat Party, as you mentioned, Brian, controlled in many parts of the country by teachers' unions, sworn enemies of homeschooling. This was an op-ed about promoting, in many cases, homeschooling, and just that weird, wacky, fundamental misalignment in how we view about who the kid really belongs to.
Right, and Jackie, the unions try to shift the conversation. So we're talking about educational outcomes. They want to talk about equality or something.
Well, that was a great summation of what the objective is behind the scenes. Here's the narrative that they're peddling out in public. You've got the advocate for the public schools, one of them, the National Parents Union, a representative saying this in a statement. This isn't fixing education. It's making sure millions of children never get a fair shot. And we're not about to let that happen without a fight. So they're saying that the system that Donald Trump wants to create is fundamentally unequal. Well, when you stand back and look at the situation and the system as it is, it's not equal. A lot of kids are suffering, and these are the kids that you're claiming that you want to help by leaving the situation the same. The kids whose parents have money are going to private schools. You always bring up the Catholic schools, and they're getting advantages. This system is the one that's failing the very kids that you're saying you're trying to help. And so, in law school, they always tell you it doesn't matter which side of the case you're arguing, just anticipate the argument of the other side. So I always look to see, well, how are they spinning this? And this is how they are, but the argument really just does not hold any water.
And Dagen, it's Randy Weingarten spinning. Open for your thoughts on that.
Yeah, speaking of totemic symbolic worms.
Start putting the ball in the tee for
of the Democrat Party, of those paddling around the liberal lagoon of sewage. In that Matthew Hennessy column you're quoting from the Wall Street Journal, he was pointing out that the left and the media minions who carry water for them never miss an opportunity to lambaste homeschooling. And they have the young man in Waterbury, Connecticut, who was held in captivity by his stepmother for 20 years, they blamed, the media blamed Connecticut's lax homeschooling rules that could have aided the boy's abuse.
Good grief.
You find this in every corner of the media. And to the point of what President Trump is trying to do and what certainly Republicans in Congress will do, we were talking about the ranking of how far low we rank in the world in math. Well, we spend more per child than any other developed nation. It's about $16,000 per student in the U.S. just from the Department of Education. And last year, only a quarter of the $268 billion budgeted to the Department of Education actually went to kids.
Wow. So technology is going to change this, though, Anthony. I mean, part of it is the wave is coming. AI is going to be a big part of that.
Well, look, 1 in 5 adults in the United States are illiterate. 1 out of every 2 can't read above a 6th grade level. Teachers are using these unions to hold children hostage. And ultimately, technology is going to be the solution. We know that one-on-one tutoring delivers better outcomes. There's been studies that show a couple of weeks with an AI tutor actually can advance a kid as much as 6 months in the classroom. And so what you see now is there's a company that I'm an investor in called Synthesis. They've built an AI tutor that literally the kid sits down, they play games, they're getting tutored by the AI. The teacher doesn't get tired, they don't get frustrated, and they continue to deliver great education. And if you can make it entertaining, the kids want to do it, which is a huge part of this. And I think you're going to continue to see technologists assault these schools because it's very easy pickings. You're competing against people who are not doing a good job.
I don't think AI joins unions yet, as far as I know, but could wise up.
I love that. Like, either you get better at educating our kids or you're going to be out of a job.
There you go.
Eat it, sister.
Okay, coming up.